Welcome back.
Okay, we're live. As always, we'll start off the stream by saying hello, because nobody's in yet, which to be expected because it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Thursday at 1 p.m. So everybody should be at work probably.
Well, unless you have the day off for early 4th of July.
Yeah.
I don't know how many places do that, give you the 3rd and 4th off. Especially when the 4th is a Friday.
It'd
feel
be,
like they
it'd
give
be
it-
places that have a 4-day work week.
Well, not necessarily. When the 4th of July lands on a Wednesday, it's always really tricky. They're like, what day do we give you off? That weird-ass Wednesday? Or do we give you Thursday, the day before off, the day after off? I don't know. We teach summer, baby. If I'm not teaching summer school, then who cares?
So if you are on lunch break at work, then welcome to the stream. Or if you don't have work, or if you're sneaking in during work anyway, hello.
Yeah.
Anybody seeing this part, I'm sure you'll just be watching the recording, if anybody's watching this recording. If you're here right now watching and recording this live stream, and it's not July...
Huh? Today's July 3rd.
And it's not July 3rd, then thanks for watching these recordings. Anyway, while we wait for this video to fill up, I will just give a quick idea of what's going on. First of all, the lights, as you probably saw from the thumbnail. These eye-searing lights.
It's really bright.
I found a good deal on some super bright lights online for the garage, so I thought I might as well get those and upgrade in here because the cameras, these 4K webcams, just love a lot of light. My phone camera loves a lot of light. The more light I can give it, the better. We put in so many lights in here that I'm now tripping my 20 amp breaker in the garage just on lights. So somehow we have more than 2,200 watts of lights, 2.2 kilowatts of light. So I'm keeping that half the garage light off. That way we can have all these back here on. But
Too many watts.
yeah, these are fantastic. They're nice, cheap T8 LED bars in the ceiling from eBay. They got like a wedge-shaped thing going on, so it's half of them point that way, half of them point that way, which makes a really even spread. And as I'm sure you guys can tell from the camera quality, the cameras are loving it. Matter of fact, I'm going to move this camera down some. Step over these little
Yeah,
dogs.
it's so bright. It's almost too bright when you look up because there's like no diffusing, which is annoying.
If I switch over to our view 2 here, there's the engine bay of D1. So this is no filtering. This is no extra brightness. This is no extra contrast. This has no like backlight filtering. I had to turn the exposure down one click, finally, instead of leaving it at max. So that's how a good B2's bay looks in the light now. The camera is loving it. And if you guys have your stream set to 1440p, I bet that's coming in crystal clear. Step over this dog again. Both dogs are here today too, so make sure you put your Maverick emojis in chat. I'll see if I can get you guys a view right here. Lock that in place for just a second. I've forgotten how to use this device. Exactly.
Rygar the Destroyer said, "Looks like a studio." One trailer to another said, "Looking good."
Thank you. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Dogs on stream. Actually, you know what? Echo is still so black you can't really tell she's a dog on stream. She's just a big black spot. Poor Echo dog. I'm going to temporarily give it like more. There, look. Now, with everything else completely blotted out, you can tell what Echo is. It'd be even hard telling this TV because the TV is
She's just so hard to see, bro.
She is. That's why she doesn't have an emoji yet. She's so hard to photograph. There you go, Michelle. Now you can see
I've got some good ones. Yeah, you can
takes
see a
that
little
much
bit of
brightness to see
definition.
that what Echo is. All right,
Yeah.
well, back to a shapeless blob. She goes.
Or
You see
sweet
Maverick was all
puppy
trimmed.
dog.
Michelle just gave Maverick a haircut yesterday. He's looking real good. Except for that little naked chicken leg.
Don't look at the chicken leg. But
He's
his
got chicken
belly's
leg.
cleaned out, which is good because puppies releasing heat from their belly and their toes. So
Let me
did
know.
some belly shaving.
step over the
Help
top
them
again.
get cooler faster. It's just hot out there. Yes, it is.
I think I'm gonna go back
It's
one
hot out there.
board here.
You're the goodest boy. I tell ya, you're the goodest boy.
There we go.
Nicholas Suardiek said, "Mwahahaha."
Why the eagle laugh?
Hi, puppy. Yeah, why are you tearing it? Can you not tear it? Oh, buddy, I know. I see you. You should go boy. You should go puppy house.
Nicholas Suardiek said, "Upside down wool."
Yeah, I'm working on it. Takes a minute.
You're upside down. Did you check? Echo, you're gonna pop the ball. Get it. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Nope, let go. Thank you. Will!
Yes.
She's skinning the ball, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
Buddy,
crack it down.
look. There's a hole. Look. That's not normal.
Nicholas Suardiek
It's gonna
said,
be destroyed.
"I in fact did not rolling on the floor laughing."
Hey, can you get a rag? Get in that box. Oh, Maverick's gonna mess you up.
There. That's kind of what I want. Just want some zoom.
Just playing in the plastic.
Now we will turn on backlight compensation for a second. Alright, I got a little gray here, but I do kind of want to talk about the engine bay V2 for a minute because that's what we've been working on. We're trying to work on a lot recently. Was getting this engine bay shaped. So I don't know if I can be anywhere where the camera can actually see me talk about it. Maybe I'll do one of these. Howdy, folks. Wow, looking right in my own lights. Is it bright?
Yeah, when you look at the lights, it's
Crazy.
like there's no diffusion. It's too bright.
Even with the fusers, they're just bright. Anyway, so here's the progress on the engine bay. It's basically almost done as far as metalworking goes, as far as I'm concerned. So you can see how much is filled in now. This is a brand new OEM Kia Rio power steering rack. I've got some plans for that actually. Normally you would remove all these lines, add a tube for the two breather ports, and run it depowered. It has a much bigger ratio from the stock rack. We talked about that in another live stream a while back. But now suddenly I'm thinking with some clever engineering and hiding of cables, I might actually be able to have power steering. So we might convert this to a power steering car. I'll talk about that more as we get close to that time.
Hey, wait.
But you can see the master's in, the booster's in. So this is a Miata master booster. So it's like an NB Miata, 99 to 05 era. The fuel sensors in, fuel pressure lines in. But basically what happened was, as we were doing this, the whole goal was to do a wiring tuck. And then I thought instead of a tuck, I'll just make a whole harness. And then with the whole harness, I figured to make it really tucked, we'll do bulkhead connectors, make the whole harness quick release. And while I was looking at wiring tucks and bulkhead fittings, it turns out you can do bulkhead tucks for your brake lines, which I had no idea. So I went ahead and decided I'll do a full AN conversion for the brake lines, tuck all those. So basically what you see right now is all the brake lines you're ever going to see in this engine bay. If any of you saw the videos of us working on this in the winter, you saw we deleted every hole in the engine bay, including these over here for the brake line, including these for the brake lines where they go into the fender. All those are gone. Instead, all the brake lines, the proportioning valve, all that will be hidden under the dash. And these two little brake lines right here, which are just barely visible from the angle you guys are seeing it, that is all. You'll see these two lines, they go straight back from the master, right into the firewall next to the booster. You can't even see in there. That's it. These are the only brake lines visible in the whole car. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. And the brake lines on the fender's already in. So it actually comes in, and you can't see it from this camera angle. I'll explain this more in an actual video. But right under the strut tower, this fender well in here, there's a soft AN line coming from behind the spring way up top here. And if I already installed this one. I I can't pull it out. There's a soft line right here coming down to the wheel well, So and the rest of the lines are all under the dash on the interior side. I still have to plumb the interior side, but it's pretty doable, pretty easy stuff for the most part. What I still have to make is the bulkhead fitting and plate for the fuse box, which will be going over here, and a tray for the battery. I have the battery here. It's a nice baby lithium battery, so this whole battery weighs like I think 2.7 pounds or so. I mean, I can just pinch it and hold it up. I could probably hold up my pinky if I could balance it on there. But yeah, nice micro battery here. These work great for automotive use. They're super light. So I need to make a battery tray for this battery, which we tuck in this corner up here, and I make a plate for my power bulkhead connector for the main harness power. It's all fused, and for the fuse box itself, we're going to sit flat up against here.
Okay.
So later we'll be 3D scanning this area of the engine bay, 3D scanning that corner, and I'll be designing some plates based on that. And instead of doing that on the live stream, I figured that's actually probably cool enough to make a whole video out of. So we'll be doing an actual video guide on how I did all this 3D scanning, design work, printed out these parts, and finished up this engine bay there. And then we can finally move on to getting the engine mounted in the bay and start running the wiring harness itself, like getting ideas of where the wires need to go, how long they need to be. The only thing set in stone right now is that the wiring for the ECU will come up through these two holes, which are bulkheads, so they'll clip into the firewall itself and unclip from the firewall. You need to pull the engine out. And the power side needs to come in here. Other than that, like the actual routing of the lines, the exact position of all the sensors and stuff, still need determined. We need the engine in place to figure out how long all those need to be. So the engine and trans kind of need to be together, which leads on to the next thing we're doing, like the actual next thing I'm doing. Zoom back out here, and that is finishing the 6-speed stuff. So over here in the corner, this is kind of a new view. I don't really do this view very often for the live stream. Now you guys are going, like you're towards the front of the garage, looking back at the stream setup. So there's my laptop for streaming. I'm watching you guys, the chats on this TV right here. The workbench for V2 stuff. And you guys see this workbench all the time. This is the workbench where we've been building the transmissions, with like the top-down view and stuff. So normally the camera is actually right above the TV, facing that way for you guys to see the desk. But since Michelle's going to hang out and talk for a minute, she went inside, she'll be back. And I wanted to kind of clean up the zone. I figured we'd try something new, camera over there. But point being, back here, there's the engine with the 6-speed case. So this is a stock G-Series cable case. So this would come in the Capri XR2 323 GT. So that's your standard front-wheel drive transmission that came on the V6T. The only thing different from the outside is this end cap. You'll notice instead of being steel, it's aluminum. This whole thing has been micro bead blasted to give it like this factory-looking, not quite polished, but like a very factory OEM new aluminum look. This is not paint; it's all nicely bead blasted finish. Local guy Ben did that for me. Huge shout out to him for helping me out with this. It turned out fantastic. But I need to install the sensor. There's a sensor for the crank trigger that goes here. It's a kit that I sell in the Festiva store. Sam Industries crank sensor kit uses a tone ring like this on the flywheel, and then there's a sensor that goes inside the case that reads that. I need to make an install guide for that though, so I figured I'll get this all set up on the stand and actually film the guide video on how to install that. Once that's in, then I'll have my wire coming off the back of it, and then I'll have all the accessories on here that I need to, so we can start actually doing our wiring harness routing in the bay. So once I get this part finished, I can then plop this in the bay. I have 2 of the 3 mounts ready to go. The third mount needs some work, but like I said, I'm going to get there. So that's what I need to do. I need to clean up this zone so I can film this guide video. We had this area looking kind of clean, and I had to get some stuff out to finish the Bondo work on the engine bay, and then we had to do some stuff to Steven's transmission, which you guys might have seen the live stream of, like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago now. It's been a while since I had the stream up. And then general cleanup. I fixed the Ford Fusion I had. I had a 6-speed Fusion I was going to use as a transmission donor, but then I decided I should probably just fix it and then sell it, because right now the store needs more capital, more than I need another 6-speed. So the Fusion was in here for a while. We got it fixed up. Now it's gone. So I really need to clean up this zone. But we did some more organization stuff. You guys, it's just off screen, but we got all the transmission tools sorted and transmission parts sorted, so now they're actually properly organized. The hardware got kind of reorganized. Put up a new fan in the corner since it's been so hot out here. So now I got a nice fan blowing across when we're working in this zone. A big board, so I can start mounting some of my shelving up. I've had some shelves laying around for a while I need to put up on the wall. Now I finally have a board, so I can actually screw stuff into that and hang stuff up out of the way. But as you can see, it's kind of gotten to be a mess again in this zone. All my surfaces are covered in garbage, as they always do. So I need to clean up in here so I can start filming this. But it's been so long since we did a live stream, I wanted to invite you guys to join us for a bit. Standard like Q&A style stuff, have chat here, have people hanging out. and maybe have Michelle talk about why we've been gone.
Sorry, I brought the dogs back in because our neighbor's kitty's outside. And, of course, our dogs love cats, so they just want to be that kitten's best friend. But they also, don't know their size and intimidation factor.
So true.
Yeah. So we'll bring the puppers back in. He's so soft.
Yeah, I think right now we lost most of our viewers.
Where'd everybody go?
Probably back to work.
No!
But with some people rejoin us.
Quit your job!
I think Michelle should talk about why the heck we have been away from stream and away from, actually, like really away from home for a little while now.
We've been gone. Let's see.
Oh, we're in the trash can.
Okay. Steven, I think, is coming over later. So, yeah, June's kind of been a busy month for us. Essentially, my school stuff isn't over until like the beginning of June. So then, once the beginning of June hit, it was what did we do that first week? I don't know. But the second week of June is when we did the Hot Rod Power Tour, which was a great time. It was cut a little bit short from.
Power Tour, we took the Protege.
Yeah.
Which we just got done recently.
So last year, Will did the Power Tour in the S10, and that was a good time. But he really wanted me to go with him this year, and I kind of insisted on air conditioning. So we took the Protege, plus it's like the newest build. It's a hot rod. I mean, it's got crazy cams in it. Like, it's a nice car. So we took the Protege, and the Hot Rod Power Tour is generally speaking, you go from city to city in this one area. Every day is a new city. And you look to link up with some convoys with other cool cars. There are a lot of classic cars, which is very fun.
Yeah, most hot rods, they have Hot Rod Power Tour, your traditional hot rods. So you're thinking like, pony cars, muscle cars, older American muscle, American iron from the, 50s to 80s.
Yeah, so we were maybe a little bit out of place, but we had cool racing stripes on the Protege, and that's really what mattered. So, last year it ended in Indianapolis, so this year it starts in Indianapolis. So the first day was in Indy, the next day was in Joliet, next day, Joliet, Illinois. Then after that, Fort Wayne, Indiana, so tracking back, but more northern. And then the next day, the fourth day, was Monroe, Michigan. That was fun. And then the last day was Norwalk, Ohio. And that's it. That's if you're going to do like the whole thing. But there's a lot of people that just do like one day because it's near them or time off, stuff like that. We were trying to do the whole thing and got a message from a neighbor, a nice neighbor, telling us that while we were gone, some police officer or city official tagged our cars for a 24-hour move notice. So in Lexington, where we live, you're not allowed to park your car on the street for more than 24 hours without it being moved. Now, considering this is a pretty silly rule in residential areas where people have big families, lots of cars, whatever, most people don't have any issues with it. And
one trailer to another said,
not had many issues.
"Hello, I'm the neighbor face with tears of joy."
Yay!
Yeah. So, which was very incredibly helpful. Unfortunately, though, we weren't able to get back in time
Because we were, 10 hours away on a trip.
Yeah, we were pretty far.
So whoever reported us did it just in time for us to not be here to do anything about it.
Yeah, so it was pretty convenient for them to know that we were going to be out of town to then report our cars. We thought for a second maybe it was Will's Facebook post and somebody's, stalking him in that regard, being friendly to the face, but not so much on the phone, calling the authorities. Because our immediate neighbors don't seem to ever have a problem with our cars. Like, most people think they're really cute. They'll be like, yeah, my kid's favorite one is the yellow one, but I really like the blue one. Like, it's fun. It's whatever. And none of our neighbors seem to have a problem. Except I'm pretty sure this one neighbor that just hates us. So they somehow knew we were gone, which is really kind of creepy. And they called the city on us. They tag the cars, and if you don't move them within 24 hours, they tow them.
And there's no way to get notice of this, by the way.
Yeah. They don't look up when they tag your car. They don't look up your registration and try to contact you or knock on your door or anything like that. So they just tag them, and you're just supposed to happen to see them because your car's supposed to be moving every 24 hours anyway, right? But realistically, think in our neighborhood with people with big families who, now that the laws changed, they can have 15-year-old drivers now. And let's say they don't have a big driveway where they can park all of their cars, or they're sick of playing Jenga with two parents working and their kid driving, so they park them on the street. And just imagine that poor person having to move their car literally every 24 hours. But now it's summertime and your kid's biking around now, hanging out with friends. It's just a really dumb rule. I could understand if it's been there for a while, or if it's not registered, all of our stuff's registered, or if it's got a flat tire, or if it's, if it looks like it doesn't move under its own power, derelict. I understand those rules, but to have a 24-hour rule seems pretty dumb.
One trailer to another said, "They do the same thing to me around the block, but my cars look actually rough. LOL, y'all's cars are all tagged and look presentable."
Yeah, for the most part, the cars, we last year, because of this, because in the state of Kentucky, your registration is based off of your birth date. And my husband is really cute and all, but he's really bad at being responsible and being a real adult sometimes. And so his registration would be up in April, and he would forget to do it or get it on insurance so he could do it, because you can't register it if it's not on insurance. And we have so many cars that we only insure them when we kind of need to. We only insure them to be driven, at least, when they need to.
Right. If it's not being driven, it's on shored up insurance or layup insurance. Or
right.
Home insurance for vehicles in garages, basically.
Right. So what I did last year was I got a lot of our cars on antique plates, because generally speaking, we're driving them to meets, and that's when you can use an antique plate. You're driving them to a car meet. You're driving them to your mechanic, whatever. So I got a lot of stuff on antique plates last year. It was a bit more expensive, obviously, than registering your car. Registering a Festiva in the state of Kentucky, though, is $20 a year. It's super cheap, which is awesome. But considering we had so many of them, and it was just easier to say, these are on antique plates, so that makes them legal to park on the street. Well, you can park it on the street, but you better be moving it an inch every day. So that was really frustrating, and honestly, I didn't even know that was a law. I didn't know the 24-hour thing was a thing. I think Will knew, but I didn't know. So now that I know,
I have a feeling
I'll be sure
it's the same as Champaign.
every time we ever leave for more than 24 hours that we park all the cars back in the driveway, because it's just dumb. It's a dumb rule. I don't think it's helping even normal human beings, and not car addicts like my husband. So yeah, we got the message from you, which was super helpful. But when Will leaves out of town, he generally doesn't look at his phone, ever. He doesn't want the stress of any of it, so he just doesn't even look at his phone. He doesn't look at his notifications. It's really kind of annoying, because it's brother, you got things to do. But I think part of it for him is he doesn't want to clear the notification and it be important, and he won't remember it when we get back. So I'm sure there's probably a better system for that. But at the same time, he's like, I'm on vacation. Who cares? I'll look at it when we get back. So we didn't we didn't see your message until it was Thursday already, Thursday afternoon. So they had tagged our cars Wednesday, and Thursday afternoon, it was about noon actually, when we got your message. I'm pretty sure there was even, maybe, is this the same neighbor that knocked on the door?
Think 2 people messaged us.
Okay. There was a neighbor who actually even knocked on our door and rang our doorbell. And if you ring our doorbell, it'll ring on my phone and we can talk through the camera. But I missed it. I had terrible service in the boonies, so I missed it. But they were trying to tell us as well that, hey, your cars have been tagged. You need to move them as soon as possible. And since we didn't know when they were tagged, we were really hoping they had been tagged Thursday, since that's when we learned about it. Turns out they had been tagged Wednesday, so by the time our buddy got off work and was able to come over to get the cars, they were all gone. So being responsible car owners, we came back, went to the impound lot, got them out. It was a whole thing the next day to get the Fusion out because Fusion doesn't work. I mean, it has a bad clutch, so it doesn't really work. And so because of that, we hadn't taken it to the DMV, so we hadn't gotten it titled yet. It was just a mess. I busted my knee in the process, and that's still not even healed. So
it's really silly. The junkyard said, like, or the tow yard was like, hey, we can't release this to you because you can't prove you own it. I'm like, I have the key, I have the title, I have the bill of sale. Like, I literally have everything for it, like, to prove that it's mine. They're like, well, since the title's not in your name, it's not enough to prove it's yours, therefore I can't take it out. Because for me to take it out, I have to go contact the owner and have them, like, notarize and fill out a form saying I'm allowed to get it out. And it's like weekend. It's like Friday. So like, they want me to now go to the guy in central Indiana, find him, have him sign this, notarize it, and bring it back to them before the fees start racking up. Because every day the car is there, it's an extra $70. But then the junkyard guy said, if you want, though, I'm like, well, what if I just leave it? So at this point I'm thinking, it's not worth fixing and selling. I'll just give it up then. He's like, well, you can, since you have a title, you can give it to us. Like, you can.
Right. You can. What did they say?
I keep thinking retired.
No. Surrender.
Yeah, you can surrender the car to us.
You can surrender the title here, and we can get rid of it faster.
Right. We take ownership then.
Because I said, what if we never get it? He said, well, then generally it sits here for 30 or sometimes 60 days before we can then legally scrap it or put it on car part or whatever.
He's like, but since I have the title, I can surrender it to them. I'm like, so it's not enough proof so that I own it, but it's enough proof for me to give it to you for free and then you own it. That was what really made me upset. Yeah. That's not enough proof for me to take it. There's enough proof for them to take it.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
We ended up getting out, and then they charged us extra fees that we didn't need to be charged, and they wouldn't take them back off. So, all in all, it was just over $1,000 to get our 4 cars out of impound.
Yeah.
And this has been a month where it's already been very tight because I don't know if I can talk to my now. This is a month. Well, the past 2 months, it's already been very tight budget-wise because we've been trying to order stuff for the store while there was a tariff pause. So there's a lot of stuff that's been out of stock recently that I've been working on getting back in stock. And the tariff pause made that possible, but that means like we're spending like $6,000 on these big shipments or more. And now suddenly we're hit with another bill that we really weren't expecting.
Yeah.
So I've not been doing live streams or any side project stuff because I've been very hard at work here.
Keep it hustling. Very
hard at work here trying to make $1,000 in like 2 weeks. We can pay this off, more or less.
Yeah. So that was a lot.
Shortly after that, we had a wedding in Florida. That was been on the schedule for like many months.
Rygar the Destroyer said, tow yards are scams.
Yeah, tow yards are ridiculous. Like, I'm sure this company is probably great if you're like stuck on the side of the road and you need a tow. Like, sure, I'm sure they're awesome. But the fact that they can tow your stuff and not tell you or make any attempt, like, they don't have to make any attempt to contact you. That part is pretty ridiculous, right? Like, that kind of stuff just really makes me mad, where they don't have to communicate with you at all. They can just say, oh, well, it was on the street. Like, next thing you know, they're like in my yard. Like, that was something that the city guy even said, that If they're walking on the sidewalk and they can see that your tag is out of date, your registration tag is out of date, they can report it and they can tow your car out of your driveway. It's just asinine. Like, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, so that was the second week of July or of June, and then we had one more week or so before we left for
one trailer to another
for a bestie of
said,
mine. So
yeah, that's
was
BS.
yeah, very frustrating. But it was really nice this last weekend to be in Florida celebrating a good friend of mine with her wedding. She was actually a good friend of mine who was in my wedding. So I had been looking forward to this wedding since they announced the date a year ago. So nothing was stopping me from driving all the way to Florida. I drove probably almost all of it. Will was not. Will was just not feeling it.
Well, I just got enough from driving 6 days straight, hundreds of miles a day.
Several days of power tour. So I did a lot of driving.
That was my trip. I was subjecting you to my stuff, so I'm like, I can drive.
Where like basically the vacation was driving, and instead I subjected him to a vacation that was the beach.
William
Which
Jackson
would you do again, Will?
said, hey, y'all come out to Western Washington, not as much hassle. More expensive registration but no emissions, inspections, or insurance required to register or transfer titles.
Just so far though.
Yeah, Western Washington's pretty far out there. I don't think our families would be very happy about that. Most of us
gotta visit though.
Yeah, most of them are pretty sad we even live 5 hours away. So, but we do want to go to Washington. A good friend of ours is in Seattle. He was actually here. So yeah, the week in the middle was when Eric was here. He was fixing his Saab to get the Saab out of here into his parents' house.
Yeah.
He had come earlier in the year. I don't remember when. To get it started. It was probably March, I think, when he first came down to like get the transmission swapped and stuff. So he got it basically running under its own power, but we left it parked in the, behind the fence because it's not ours. It was legal. He had done all the legal things, but thank God we didn't put it on the street because that would have been another car we had to get out. So yeah, we had the week of power tour. The next weekend we were working. Will was working with the business and stuff, helping keep up. And then we had Eric here working on the Saab. And then the next week we're leaving for Florida. So we were in Florida for
William Jackson
like 5 days minus
understandable.
travel.
If you visit, there's more than 30 or so active protege people out here. We can take care of you folks.
Dude, we would absolutely love that. I really want to go out there eventually. I don't know when. I think as of right now, our vacation funds are pretty negative, but maybe even next year or by October.
Besides standard Festiva meets we always do. The only other thing on the list right now is Proteges at the Dragon.
Yeah, Proteges at the Dragon. Will really wants to do that again this year, or he did the spring just little meetup at Proteges at the Dragon. Did you ever tell me what dates those were?
Yeah. Dragon Healer said, frigging YouTube. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome. You made it. So yeah, Proteges at the Dragon, I think, is our next meet outside of Festiva meets. So we don't really have many travels planned, thankfully. We were going to go home for this weekend for the 4th, but we're just basically tuckered out. Need a little bit of a break. So.
Well, sort of a break. We're also sort of, now I'm doing this stuff. So.
Well, yeah, like a break from driving and more normal, get shit done kind of thing.
But that's kind of the other reason. Like I made a video at this point months ago saying, "Hey, here's why I've been busy, why there hasn't been any new uploads to the channel." And then right after making that video, I got busy with crap again, and then still have not made new videos. So for everybody who's been watching and waiting for another video to come out, they are in progress. I've got 2 or 3 videos now. I think 3. They're already filmed. I just need to finish editing. Timing belt guide video is a big one. AC install guide video is another big one. Those will take a long time to edit. And there was a 3rd one I don't remember now. I already filmed already. Then, like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, getting the 6-speed stuff done for the transmission for the sensor kit that I have a guy to do. I'm filming basically hopefully this weekend. I'll probably do that one first. There's a lot of people who bought the sensor kit the past 2 weeks who were asking how to put it on. So now I'm gonna make sure to get the guy to do it done so people know how to install that. With that done, I can finally get that engine
Which
in the
sensor
car.
video? Because we recorded some.
We did the cam one, now we do the crank one.
Oh, okay.
It just mounted. I had it here ready. Then another thing came up, and now it's pushing the corner again. With everything else laid out again. So
one step at a time. We're getting there. But that's part of why we said let's stay here this weekend so Will can get some stuff done and recoup a little bit from all the chaos. But then after that, no big travel plans, I don't think, until Harvestiva. Harvestiva is the first weekend of September. It's always Labor Day. So Harvestiva's coming up. That'll be fun. That'll be our next real travel plan, I think.
yeah, for anybody wanting to hang out in person or come see a Festiva meet, or just hang out in general and have a good time at some cheap junkyards and out in the middle of nowhere in the country, definitely come check it out.
Dragon
It's
Healer
in Central Illinois.
said,
Uh,
8 watching and only 2 likes.
yeah. Ryle knows what's up. Hit that like button. Come on. But yes, Harvestiva is in Central Illinois, like really close to the Indiana border. The town's called East Lynn. East Lynn. It's a tiny town, but that's where my parents are. They got a nice house out in the country. We camp out there for a few days that whole weekend. We go to the junkyard, get really good deals. Sometimes we do autocross if they're hosting it that weekend. All sorts of fun stuff. And you don't have to have a Festiva. You don't even have to have a Mazda or a Fazda. Show up in any vehicle you want and just come hang out. It's a great time. We do cookouts. We camping. We wrenching in the garage. There's always some sort of fun project going on. It's a great time.
The town does a festival every Labor Day weekend.
This is
So they do the sweet corn
capital of the world.
festival because it's the sweet corn capital of the world. So every year there's a sweet corn festival where they do free sweet corn through with this like old school steam tractor, I think, or train, something like that. But it's very cool. It's very fun. They've got rides, fair food, so it's a good family time too. If you want to bring your family and be like, we're not going to look at cars all day, I promise. There will be fun people hanging out at like Harvestiva Central too, just hanging out, chilling. But yeah, everyone's welcome. It's a good time. You can easily camp with the cows. The cows love it. You'll wake up to them mooing in the morning. It's perfect. So I'm looking forward to it. That's our next big travel. Unless in August we're gonna try to make it to Mountain Stiva.
Yes,
Mountain
sir.
Stiva is in North Carolina, right? Asheville. It's in the Asheville area. So we're gonna try to make that happen. It's sometimes tricky for me because that's right about the same time school starts. But hopefully we'll be able to make it at least.
Yeah, we're aiming to make it. Bill Taylor hosts that one. It's a great time.
Yeah. So somehow it's already July and half the year's gone. I don't know how that happened. But it's been good. It's just been busy. Echo's over here just destroying a stick. She's so happy. She's a good girl. Remember this time last year and like the dead of heat, we were cleaning out the garage so we could get it insulated? Isn't that crazy?
Are the results so nice?
The results are so nice, so worth it. If you're thinking about getting spray insulation for your garage, just do it. It'll pay for itself. Literally last year, July 8th. So It was really about this time. The emptiest this garage has ever been, basically since we moved. We were like, last year we were working on Brian's AC in here, just helping him out, getting his AC switched into the Festiva, and it was just ungodly hot. Oh yeah, that's another video content. You're a whole year out, Feb, from that video.
I I know. Editing's the hard part. I've been so busy.
I
Every time I
know.
go upstairs to edit a video, I'm like, oh, now I'm upstairs. I just realized this printer needs fixed, and this printer needs work,
Yeah.
and this file needs work, and then
We really need a second wheel,
yeah,
but
we cannot afford.
I can't afford a second wheel, and I don't make a very good second wheel. I make a pretty decent Michelle, but
and good Michelle.
yeah. So yeah, last year, just around this time, we were doing Brian's AC with him. We had like 5 dudes in here. The AC unit that we got from Will Spencer years ago is a great AC unit, but it has a really hard time keeping up when it's 90 degrees and it's pumping it into a non-insulated space. So it was just ridiculously hot. That was kind of the last straw in terms of, is it worth it? And after that, we're like, yeah, we should just do it. Like, it's just a lot of work. We had to clean out all the rafters, everything inside, and then obviously pay a good couple $1,000s to get it done. So it's expensive. It's a lot of work, but man, is it nice in here. So it was worth it. But it is crazy. It's been like exactly a year. Yeah, I still would argue it's too bright in here,
Well,
but that's also because I'm just really tired.
what do you think, chat? How's it look? The camera
Does it
should
look
be
good?
liking it a lot. It should look really good. Like, not necessarily look brighter to you, because I can turn the exposure down. With the exposure turned down, it should be less grainy. It should be a lot clearer.
Puppy dog.
Especially when I do the engine bay shot. Like, look how not grainy and not like overblown that is.
Yeah, I'm sure the cameras can actually do a good job now, which is good. Does it mean it's not too bright though? So yeah, I don't think we've ever stayed here for the 4th of July. I don't even know what people do in this area. Like, where are the fireworks?
Yeah, when I was a kid, we'd always go out to Lake Reba.
Yeah, so like, should we go to Lake Reba? Should we drive? Oh,
know.
hey, we didn't go to get our glasses.
Yeah.
They're gonna be closed tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. You just gonna save it for next week?
I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean, I could go do it, but then you'd be blind. We even recorded a little bit in, at least I did. I've got some recordings from then. I think we were going to do like an installation video.
Oh, yes. That's another video I have.
I've got some.
I think I transferred it.
Oh, did you?
I think I see it actually edit the thing.
Yeah, I got some pictures. I got some videos. I've got a really goofy panorama where Will made my arm be like 10 feet long. It's really good.
Did it turn out good?
It looks really good. Yeah, have you seen it? It's really funny. That has to be the thumbnail.
That's nice.
It's really good. Look at that happy girl.
Is Steven's coming over too?
Yeah, Steven just mentioned. Got everything packed up, on my way over now. He's gonna have to do fuel pumps here because he didn't do it. I told him that's totally fine.
All right. Well, the current viewership, is there anything that you guys want to see? I know I've mentioned some stuff on Facebook. I've mentioned some stuff in the streams in the past, and then it's not all that gets recorded or talked about. So if there's anything that I've mentioned just in passing, what you guys want to see in more detail or learn more about, I'd love to take time now to be able to talk about that sort of stuff while I'm cleaning up. Just watching me clean up is not the most interesting thing, but
Dude, it's the most interesting. I mean, have you seen this guy?
the chat
He's
interaction.
So
The chat interaction is interesting.
That's true. Yeah, where are my people in the chat? Need Bill Taylor in here chatting you up.
I bet Bill's busy. I bet this is like prime pool setup season.
That's so true, though.
Yeah, maybe you message Bill and say, hey, just checking in. Oh, and somebody wanted to buy this or trade for this. They were looking for pictures.
Oh, yeah.
So let me try to pop it out real quick.
Yeah. Did you tell him you just get the stickers off? Yep. You said goofiest girl. This girl. This stick was probably double in size. He's so crazy. Nice. But yeah, so between, I mean, when did we get rid of those capris? Wasn't that like June as well? Because I wouldn't have driven down to Tennessee if I was still doing school, I think. When did we do that? Let me see. That's the other thing we did. So, Will wanted to like pick up some Festivas somewhere. I don't even remember where. No, I guess that was May. Right there at the end of May. I guess I had a couple more. It was right around Memorial Day. Yeah. Yeah. It was Memorial Day weekend. So, Will wanted to pick up a couple of Festivas in like Missouri, and I was like, brother, you need to calm your ass down, okay? You already have too many projects, too many cars. And he was like, yeah, but I told him forever ago I'd go get them. And I was like, okay, your wife, who's in charge, is saying don't, because you got 4 cars on the street, you got XYZ to do, like, just don't. And I said, well, let's get rid of these Capris, because I'm sick of them, you're sick of them, let's get rid of them. So, one, I took it down to Tennessee, where my good friends still are. I actually lived in that area for a couple of years when I was in high school. So I have a good friend there. I was like, it'll be a win-win situation. I lose 1 car, make some money, and get to have lunch with an old friend. So that was great. That same day, Brad Edwards came down to get the other Capri. So that's 2 cars gone. And then since then, all the BS happens with the cars on the street, which is silly because we had space to put them over, but we just didn't think any neighbors would be that big of an asshole to like do anything. Like
they've been there for
months, and
no
nobody's
problem.
had any complaints.
One person said, "Hey, you're a foot into my grass. Do you mind moving it so I can mow?" And I was like, "No problem."
Yeah, not a problem.
I went over there and mowed it for her. She said, "Oh, you don't have to do all that." I was like, "Well, I parked there. It's no problem. I'll mow it real quick."
Yeah.
She said, "Hey, I have no problem parking there. Just you don't mind not being in the grass." Like, yeah, of course.
Just make sure you know.
The street gets tight, so when I street park it, sometimes I go like a tire width over just to keep it out of the street. But
then you're in the grass and you're killing the grass, and that's not ideal either. So like I get it, it's totally fine. But we had space. We were 2 cars down by the time we left for a power tour. So we had space to bring them over. We just didn't think it would be a problem because it hasn't been a problem. And we were taking a car that we don't normally take when we go out of town. Like normally we take the Maverick because it gets good gas mileage, fits the dogs really good. Like it just makes sense. But we took the Protege. So I was like, whoever's paying attention to us really must be paying attention because somehow they knew we were gone when Maverick was even still here. So that's kind of weird. But so those 2 cars were gone. Since then, the Saab's gone. We had a trailer full of stuff for Capri's. Will's decided to kind of just get out of Capri's altogether for the time being. So that's 4 car placements gone. And then, is that it? I felt like there was one more.
One more what?
One more car spot.
Car you got rid of?
Yeah. 2 Capri's. Oh yeah. When when we came back here, we did all the BS with the Fusion, and then the next day I was just like, I need to go get my dogs, man. Our parents were taking care of our dogs, which was super helpful. My parent even like met me in the middle, which was super helpful.
And they were going to we were going to go back after our trip through all the states.
And we were going to spend like Father's Day over there that weekend, and we were just like done with everything. So we canceled spending Father's Day over there, but at the same time, I was like, well, my dogs are in Illinois. I'm now in Kentucky. And it's really tough being at your house when you have animals as cute as these ones, because then it's like they're not there, you know? And it just makes you sad. So I drove to Illinois and back, straight back in the same day, both to pick up the dogs and to park a Miata over there. Because this Miata was free, it's a great little car, but it's so rusty, it's not savable. So it's just one of those future projects that just we don't have the space for, but still want to do in the future.
It's a drivetrain donor for the NA.
Yeah. So that's another car gone. That's 5. And once this Fusion sells, that'll be 6 cars down. It's really funny because a friend of mine came over just a couple days ago, and she was like, "Where'd all your cars go?" Because we have 5 cars less as of right now. Not because the city has them though, so.
And everyone's always like,
well, you city.
Like, it's really annoying that neighbors have to, or some certain neighbor has to be reporting stuff to make it hard, make it start to move stuff. And when the city guy said, it's residential zoning came here and said, hey, you're residential, you can't be doing an auto shop. I'm like, well, I'm not. These are my cars. He's like, you're not repairing cars as business. I told him multiple times I'm not. I don't think he believed me in the end, but I told him no, I'm not. He's like, so if I ran all these plates, they'd all come back as yours. And I said, yes, they would.
Run them.
I said, well, except for that white Fusion, I have the title, but it's not titled yet because we can't get it to get inspected. Obviously now that's taken care of. And I think I even told him that Miata's not yet because same deal. I haven't got it inspected, but I have the title here. But at that time, the Fusion was still registered. The previous owner still had it registered. The plates from Indiana were due to October. So the whole time, it didn't have expired plates or anything. It was still registered. Any rate, I told him, he's like, so you're not just buying and selling these? You're not flipping cars? I'm like, no. I said, well, now that you guys keep bothering me, I'm going to have to sell some.
Right, and we're going to have to sell some.
I said, but I did not buy it to sell it. I bought it to use it. And he's like, you need to use these many cars? Like, they each have their own purpose. And also, it doesn't matter. They're my cars. I don't have to give you any reasons why I need it or don't need it. It's mine. There's no limit to how many cars I can own. There's a limit to how many I can park physically right now. But that's it. There's no legal limit to the cars you can own. And whatever I do with them is up to me. As long as it's not commercial. Right. And he's like, you have a small business though? I was like, yes, I 3D print stuff. He's like, we need to get a permit to 3D print things if you're selling it. I'm like, that's absurd.
William Jackson said, sounds like y'all have room for more Festivas and proteges.
Yeah, exactly. Now that we're 5 cars down. Nah, dude, we were over capacity for a while.
But still annoying. I'm like, well, now you're selling them all. I'm like, I had to sell them because you guys kept making it a problem. I have to get them moved now. If it wasn't for you guys making this a problem, I wouldn't be selling them. This would not be a buy and sell lot. It still isn't. But now the Fusion's for sale because I have to get out of here. I would have kept it as a great winter car because I fixed it. It's got good heat, good AC. It's just rusty. And that's the only issue. It's got some rust.
It would be a good winter car.
It's a great winter car. But forget it. Out it has to be then. But yeah, I'm not doing it commercially. But then he told me apparently it's illegal to work on other people's cars at all. If your friend's like, hey, I got a flat tire a mile away from your house. Can I stop over and put a plug in it real quick? Which has literally happened. We had a friend, literally,
one trailer to another, said, do you know if your neighbor wants to sell that old rusty cutlass?
I do not. No. But it does. It looks like a fun project.
Knock on their door.
But yeah, so somebody came over and we, my friend who I've known for 6 years now.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I got a flat. It's like, it's not fully flat yet, but I can see the leak. There's a nail in it. Can I plug it? So he stopped by. We plugged his tire. Apparently, that's not legal. Even if it's less than 24 hours, even if it's not a major repair, if you're publicly doing repair at the house, which you can, you have 24 hours to do non-major repair with no list what's major. I can do an engine swap in 2 hours. So is that major or not? If I get it done in 2 hours,
Right.
whatever. But he's like, yeah. Well, if it's not belonging to the property, the title's not in the property owner's name, you can't work on it at all. Like no oil changes, no fix a flat, nothing, which is absurd. Because I have all the space, I have the tools, and like most of the work we're doing by the garage. Like 2 or 3 times, I've helped somebody out in the driveway, and that makes me a shop. Mostly the same guy. Like my friend, we did fix the Subaru tire. We charged the AC in the Subaru, like changed one lines and charged it. Like that was it. Like we did it in the daytime in my driveway. Or somebody wants to stop by and change their tire out or change a wheel out, so they borrow a jack and a jack stand. Again, like they're here for maybe 2 hours of stuff, but apparently it's enough for me to be a shop because there's cars in and out. It's just like literally the same 3 people that I've either been friends with for like 10 years now,
Yeah.
or like Steven, who lived with us for literally this was his address for a year. Legally.
Like a year and a half, like holy.
Or people I went to school with for 3 years, college, like the past 5 years together.
So it's not like we're just like out there advertising, hey, we'll work on your shit in our place.
And when they're here to work on their stuff, they're working on it. I'm not a shop still. It's my friends coming by and then doing something to their car, or me helping because like they want some extra tool help, they want some extra knowledge, which I'm happy to provide. But they're not paying me. It's not a business. You can't just look me up and say, oh, hey, there's that specialty shop that works on Festivas. I don't. That's not what this is. I'd love to do that someday in a real building, like actually own a shop and do like Festiva restoration or do like actual real work. But this is my garage. All the cars here are my cars, and that's what I work on. And I finally learned who it was. Is doing half the reporting at least. They outed themselves on Facebook after somebody posted a picture of our cars on Facebook. And he is 100% certain I'm running a business and that he's going to keep doing whatever he can to report us till he gets us to, quote, stop. And I told him straight up, if he has a problem with me or my cars, he can just come talk to me in person. Obviously, he knows where I live. And I told him, B, these are all my cars. I even told him, like, zoning's been here 3 times now, and the cars are still here. I'm like, do you ever wonder why that is? It's because nothing's illegal here. Zoning's been here. Code enforcement's been here. Every time they're like, change one thing, and other than that, you're in the clear. Like, I can't park in my own grass. So we paved the lawn. I still parked on the edge. Like, you can't even park on the edge of your own grass. So I said, fine. I moved it back out on the edge of the grass. Problem solved. And the one guy's like, you need a permit for your 3D printer. That's all they can do to me legally is to tell me I need a printer permit. So fine. We apply for a printer permit. Problem solved. Still not a shop. So I told him, like, why do you think the cars never move? They don't move because they're mine. They don't have anywhere else to be. And I think yesterday he even replied to that. He said, it's because you're scamming them.
Yeah, I saw that.
The cars are still here, stuck in my driveway
We're
because
them.
not only am I a shop, I'm a bad shop at scanning my customers and not actually working on their cars. I was like, okay.
Well, no, I thought he meant you were scamming the city. That you're just lying to the city people that come over.
Oh, I thought he meant I was scamming the customers. That's part of why the cars don't move.
MR Rogers 1187
I don't know.
said,
We should ask for
I hope
clarification.
he gets a flat tire.
Yeah, me too.
If he would just come over and like actually, if he had an issue, a specific issue he wanted me to fix or something.
Yeah, like, hey, you're kind of blocking the intersection. Like, if you could just park up the street further. Or...
But if his problem is like, oh, I think your cars look junky, I don't like them, then he'll just have to get over it.
Yeah.
It's not my job for you to like my cars. Like when code enforcement came, or when zoning enforcement came one time, like, hey, you can't have automotive paraphernalia like out visible in the yard.
Yeah, so like your stack of tires.
Our driveway goes all the way up to the edge of the house, up by the chimney, and that's where the fence is. So in the corner of the fence and the chimney, I had a stack of Festiva 12s over there. He's like, I can see tires from the street. I'm like, yeah, they're stacked up in the corner of my fence. He's like, well, it's visible from the sidewalk. That's not allowed. So I was like, all right, fine. So I brought it to the fence. So if my neighbors have like a problem like that, they're like, hey, your car is blocking my drive. Like your parts are close to my grass. I can't mow right now. Or hey, I can see your tires from the street. Am I moving those? I'm a nice guy. I'm a polite person. I'd be happy to say like, sure, no problem, move it for you. Problem solved. Like it's simple.
I think people must just be like scared to talk to people. Because it's easier to complain on the internet, and what if you were a jerk?
Right.
Like if they knocked on your door and they were like, can you move your shit? And you were just like, dude, fuck off. Like that'd be kind of intense. But Will's like the least confrontational person alley I've ever been.
And also, that's the part where I'd escalate and start saying, all right, fine. If you're not going to move it, I'll have to ask the city to move it.
Right.
Well, no, you should just ask me to move it if you need something moved. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
But every other neighbor we talk to, like especially the people who actually live next to us, the people whose property I'm actually parking next to, aka my neighbor and the neighbor adjacent to them, I have talked to them multiple times. They have my phone number even. Like they're both fine with it. So whoever's complaining is not even the people whose yard's in front of.
Yeah, they're just. Oh, I need something to keep them busy, I guess. I'm busy enough.
And of course, the comments are going to be a bit biased in the car group. But the car group where my picture is posted in, every person there was in favor of us keeping the cars around, saying they love how it looks, it's cute, their kids love it when they pass by, as Michelle was saying. And
yeah, even the person that, like, so we get to the impound lot at like 11 p.m. almost, because it's a 24-hour lot. And I told the lady, she was like, you have 4 cars here? And I was like, yeah. I was like, you know that cute house on Longview with all the cute cars? And she was like, oh yeah, my son loves when we drive by. And they're like, we're always seeing which one's going to be up front. Like, everybody loves them. But of course, there was still nothing she could do for us.
So yeah, that's where all our effort and energy and money have been the past few months, is getting cars moved, getting cars out, getting cars fixed, dealing with the city, etc. And again, the only actual crime we committed was parking for more than 24 hours on the street.
Right.
Everything else was legal and fine, and that's why zoning and code enforcement said, all right, see ya, didn't come back. Just want to be clear, I'm not spending all this time trying to legalize my property. I'm spending all this time just trying to make it easier for me to A, move my own cars around, and B, have them stop harassing me over parking.
Yeah.
Legally, right now, I can go put all 5 of my cars back on the street and just move them every 24 hours, just one space forward, and that is totally legal.
You know, it'd be good to take them around the block real quick, charge up the battery, park it again. Could be a fun hour-long excursion every day.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I've been recently. That, and then trying to make sure all the store inventory is staying up right now, because we've been doing a lot of great sales. Yeah. The new turbo manifolds, all the V16 manifold stuff, working with Kraken. There's been a lot going on there, which is great. I love to see that. I've been loving the support everybody's been giving me for new product stuff we've been launching. It's been fantastic. More 6-speed stuff, especially the Protege guys, all helping me out building these 6-speeds. It's been really cool seeing the business from that. And I'm still doing that. If anybody wants stuff with a 6-speed, I am still selling 6-speed conversions. I'm not a shop. I'm not going to install it for you. I can sell products, though, and I'm selling the product of a 6-speed transmission, just like we're selling a product of 3 printed parts, which we are fully permitted to do, by the way. I have a full statewide permit to be a seller and reseller.
Have you done the office one?
No, I mean, I don't have the printing one yet, but...
William Jackson
reminds me we need to do
said,
our Kentucky sales.
how many 6-speed conversions are you currently working on?
We've got 5 total in the works, but they're kind of spaced. So what I try to do is I try to do them all at once when I have them built up, because once you have them all apart, the modifications are easy to do all the shift gates in a row, and then you do all the diff work in a row, then you assemble all of them in a row, so you have all the tools already out and ready to go. I think so far only one person has paid in full for their transmission swap. Everybody else is still working on getting their stuff paid off, which I've been offering to anybody, so you don't have to pay for it all up front. I mostly just ask that you pay for the 6-speed donor transmission, which I think is like $850 right now, is the cost of donor, and that acts as your down payment. That way, if anything happens, if you have to back out or something happens to the build and I have to stop for some reason, very unlikely, but if anything were to happen for some reason, you still walk away with a 6-speed transmission. Not converted, but you have a raw 6-speed, which right now they're going on eBay for like about $1,300 to $1,900. So you pay me $800. If you have to back out or something happens, you still take that transmission home. You can resell it, do your own conversion with it, or whatever else. But once you pay that deposit, that lets me then make sure I have the trans available. I think right now I have 1 more transmission that's available. After that, I need to go pull some more, which I think this time, the last one I found that I can afford is in Florida. So like, if the next person buys one, basically you pay the deposit, then I go down to Florida, pull that transmission, bring it back home, and then once you're paid in full, I can start the whole conversion process. But ideally, I'm doing a lot of them towards the end of this month, early August, and knock out 5 or 6 at once, and have those ready to either be picked up or shipped back out. And of course, I need your 5-speed transmission as a donor as well. So like, you pay for the 6-speed, and then you give me your 5-speed, or at least the minimum parts I need. So if you have a broken one, if you have a 5-speed with a sheared third gear, or like a broken like diff pin or something, that makes a good donor because then I can swap parts around. I mostly need the case, the shift rod mechanism, and a couple of other internal pieces to be intact, and the rest of it comes from the 6-speed. And if you message the business page, you message Tim Industries, I have pictures on there and stuff. I can show you what all you need and the price list and all that fun stuff. But yeah, most of the builds are going to start here in a couple of weeks. We'll probably live stream a lot of that again as well, like show the whole process of building 5 or 6 of these transmissions.
Yeah, it's not trying to gatekeep any of the information. Like, you could go to the streams and do it yourself if you really wanted to.
Yeah, all stuff I'm doing for But the Mazda Japan has gotten the rest of the parts I need, so I've got brand new synchros, brand new bearings, all sorts of brand new parts from Japan. They're finally here. So once the rest of the payments come in for transmission builds, then the builds will start, basically.
Will.
Yes.
Apparently your parents are playing in a pool. Just all of a sudden.
You should do it in a sweet garage.
I know, right?
What the heck? Cool.
Yep.
Steve Bush said, "Any news on turbo manifolds? Have 2 on order.
Yes.
Thumbs up, good stuff."
Yes. So we ended up selling way more than I thought we would, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I was really hoping to sell about 10 of them, and then 10 quickly turned into 18, and I ordered them in batches of 10. So I bought another 10 that are being cast right now, and now I think the orders are up to like 24 orders, 25. So we're gonna have 40 made here pretty soon. Which again, that's another big expense that we're trying to work towards right now. But yes, so I believe he said that the next batch of 8 is shipping on Friday. So I expect those to be here next week, like later next week. And as soon as they get here, I should know all of you guys. So the next 8 orders are shipping out next week. And then he said mid-July, he should have the next 20 made. So that towards the end of July, whatever is left, 12 or 13 orders left, we'll ship out then. And
yeah, you need to ship out like 21 right
they're
now.
all coming with MLS gaskets for the head, and they're all coming with stainless steel studs for the bottom, and they're all coming with O2 bungs or O2 deletes in case you're not running the factory O2 sensor. So all that comes with the kit now. Before I had like an upgrade option, the cheap gasket just didn't work. So now everybody's getting upgraded to the fancier gasket and stuff. So for those will be shipping out for most people that ordered like earlier this year, those are shipping out next week. Just waiting for packing to fix the mold. The very first batch, one edge was a bit too long and it just barely interfered with the block. So when they got here, the first 9 that got here, I had to take them all and like hand grind the edge to be flush with the block. So I did it all by hand for all you guys and reboxed them up. But now he's going to adjust the mold just slightly to make it so they're good to go right out of the mold. And then he'll have those done here shortly, which is great news. It just takes a while since he's got to mold them all, fix the mold,
Right.
and then they had to ship here from Bulgaria, so it's a process.
Yeah.
And
Cool,
customs made it hard there for a bit with tariffs, but now I think the process is good to go. So the next batch of 10, followed by another batch of 20, should be here quickly. And I would show it off, but it's over there and it's heavy. It's off of my engine right now because I have that engine behind the shell mounted the Mazda factory way. So Mazda actually sells an adapter mounted like this.
Said, "Yes. B6T manifolds are unobtainium."
Yeah, factory non-crack manifolds are like impossible to get. So I'm really glad that I was able to bring this product to market, and pretty quickly too. I went from like the concept design stages to actually finding somebody to produce it to getting it manufactured here over the course of like 3 or 4 months, which turnaround for that big of a project is incredible.
Yeah.
I will say also, like some elbows get really close to the water outlet, so we're also working on having custom elbows made. So pretty soon I'll have the whole kit where you get the turbo manifold, you get a really nice custom cast 90-degree downpipe that kind of matches up close to where the factory downpipe would be. I don't think we'll be able to reuse your stock exhaust entirely, but it will line up a lot closer than most of the aftermarket options would. So hopefully I'll have those done. I think he said he's taking a break for the later half of July and then coming back in September. So I'm hoping like around late September, like early fall, basically, we will have custom-made elbows to also suit, so that everything works together super nicely. You get a very compact, tight package, GT25 base system. Should be really good.
Come here, puppy. Echo, come here. Echo. Echo. Echo, come here. She's over here falling asleep like, just come here, puppy dog.
Yeah, she's a big mover.
Steve Bush
Echo, come here.
said, "Sweet, we'll keep an eye out for those."
Come here, Echo.
Yeah, again, I'll make a video, I'm sure, about it. They'll be on the store. I'll announce it on the Sam Industries page. So basically, as long as you're following me somewhere, hopefully you'll see it.
Echo.
Which, that's another thing I wanted to do.
Rygar the
I wanted to be able to,
Destroyer
like,
said, "That is so sick."
yeah, I'm super excited about it. I want to be able to post more like product updates and stuff. Like, I want to be able to do more social media stuff, get more reach for the store. Like, it's like the big companies that are doing well. You know, every day they're posting like a reminder, like here's some products you might have forgotten about, or here's some new stuff coming out, or like here's some products working on. I wish I could update all my social media pages like daily, and then also make sure to get all the printers going and print new stuff every day, and also get in the garage working on this stuff. It's just I have so much going on, and I'm only one person, and like I said, we're going on multiple trips, and then next thing you know, we've got like to deal with stuff at home. I'm lagging behind in a few areas. It's driving me crazy how much like my to-do list shrinks and then suddenly grows a lot. So hopefully pretty soon the channel will be back to posting a video like every week or every 2 weeks, and the store will be back to having more updated posts for new inventory. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we have not raised prices. Tariffs have been like absolute butts. It's been sucking, but I didn't want to have to pass all that on to you guys and potentially lose customers based on price increases, because I know we're all in these cars, at least a lot of us originally, because they're cheap and they're fun. I want to keep it cheap and keep it fun for everybody. So I don't think we've increased prices on anything like maybe 3 items.
Yeah, really.
So
But
if you guys
at
want
the
to make
same
sure
time,
we stay,
were kind of like, are we even going to get more brake boosters? Because with tariffs, it just didn't feel worth it anymore.
right? Like the brake boosters, if the tariffs were to keep going, we would have had to make those like $180, and that would have been like us taking a huge hit on the margin and still being able to sell them at all. It'd be like $180. But so far, we're ahead of tariffs. I think there's a vote on the way now. There's talks of tariffs are going to turn back on all of a sudden. I really hope they don't. Point being, if you guys want to support the channel or support the store or support me and keep all these fun products and developments going, the best way to do that is just to buy stuff in the store. Find something you like as a product and buy a product. Buy a T-shirt. We still have some T-shirts left. Those are a great way to support the store. Show off your Sam Industries prize. If you're not a Festiva person, or there's not something on the store that fits your car, but you still like the content, you still like what I'm doing, you want to support it there, we're also on Patreon. I don't post videos to Patreon, so like being a Patreon member doesn't get you like early access or stuff like that. It's just too much for me to manage right now. But if you're the highest tier Patreon, at least for 3 months, as long as you are a 3-month patron at the higher tier, I think it's $15, you will get a free T-shirt. There's another shirt this year. At this point, it'll be probably fall before I design finished, but we are having another shirt come out. So as long as you're the top tier patron for at least 3 months, you get a free shirt, which is really cool. We also lower tiers. If you just want to toss $3 my way a month just to say thanks for the content, thanks for the work, feel free to do so. That being said, don't feel obliged to. Obviously, YouTube is free, and I'm keeping it free for a reason. Not everybody has money to spend. Obviously, I don't. I know a lot of us people don't have spare cash to spend on just silly things like YouTube memberships and whatnot. And I totally get that. If you're just here for a good time and you're having a good time, I really appreciate you guys being here. The channel is monetized now. I think every 1,000 views, I get 7 cents. Yes, so all of you guys are here, all 12 of you watching for an hour and a half. We'll probably make $3.50 from this stream. So thank you all for being here. But yeah, literally just watching the streams, hanging out helps a bunch too. But yeah. But thanks to all your support over the years and helping me be able to do this stuff full time and really work on projects. Here is the manifold. So this is the one before the production version. So the only difference between this and the production version is the production version has slits cut through here to act as a like a heat sinking zone. That way the manifold, the edges can expand and contract a bit. It's supposed to help prevent cracking. It's not necessary, but it can kind of help sometimes. So the production ones have those cut in. This one, since it's the early one, does not. But everything else about this is mint. So this is a GT2554R with a imported Nissan Pulsar GTI elbow, which is a little too close to the water outlet for my liking. So the new one that we're developing will be very similar to this shape, just tucked a bit tighter, a bit more angled toward the block. But this is from Mazda Speed Protege, so it has the OEM Mazda Speed heat shield on it. You can see it's got the O2 bung in there. The new ones are even more flush than this. They look a lot better. This is just the early one I tested out. It's got the Sam Industries logo cast into it. I guess I'm kind of far from the camera. There it is. If you guys haven't seen it yet. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. It's a really nice piece. And there's way more. This is tighter to the block, yet does not require cutting the block like the old adapters used to, and gives you more clearance around the transmission for your intake piping, and yet it's still further away from the radiator. It still gets close to the block. Just from the way we've rotated and oriented the turbo, just exactly right to fit perfectly on a V60 block. It really is like a fantastic feat of engineering and dedication and work to make this happen. So, or if you're crazy, you can buy one of these right now and just hang on your wall because it looks really cool.
It's really
So
cool.
yeah, if anybody wants, like, a $500 art decor piece, here you go. Here it is.
I'd pay $500 for art. Okay, I wouldn't because I'm broke, but
Steve Bush said, "It's a damned good-looking casting. Anything I should be aware of on a GDX?"
So I've only tested it in the bay of a Capri and a Festiva because that's all I have on hand. And the Capri bay should be very similar to the GTX bay. There's a chance you might need to switch to a pusher fan on the radiator instead of a pull fan. The factory fat pull fan gets really close to the edge of the inlet. That may or may not be the case for GTX. It might not even be the case for the Capri. It's really close. It might not actually fully hit. I didn't get the radiator all the way pulled and reasserted. You might be able to adjust the bracket to pull it forward tick and use a stock fan. Just something to keep in
what are
mind.
you doing, Echo?
The other thing is that you can't run AC with it. I think it says that on the product page too, but obviously the turbo is way bigger than the stock turbo. There's no way that turbo fit with AC unless you put the turbo like over the transmission, basically. So yeah, no AC, and you might have to have a pusher fan for the radiator. Beyond that, it should just fit. And obviously you have to change your intake piping a bit because the inlet on that is bigger. So your stock VJ pipe doesn't just fit. So you need your silicone couplers and then run that to your back. Or if you're running aftermarket ECU, run it to whatever else you're running. Beyond that, you have to obviously have to have your down pipe right now. If you don't buy my elbow, you'll have to use the elbow I know for sure fits is the Protege elbow. So the Mazda Protege uses the GT25 board from the factory, has this Callaway elbow. This one is tight enough to clear the factory water outlet. That's what I did my 3D scanning with originally, so it definitely fits this. Otherwise, you might use an aftermarket elbow until I get the cast ones done, but that's about it. Everything else is stock. Like, it just bolts on like stock. You run the 24 it angles it just right, and it should clear. If you were running the adapter plate in the old days, so here's it's covered in 3D scanning spray, but this is the factory manifold with the T25 to BJ adapter plate on it. You can see there. This, if you ever run this in your car, basically this will fit the same but better in every way. So if your car had this adapter or you had a G25 before and you run my manifold, it will fit just like it used to, but fit better, closer to the block. No grinding though, because the way it angles out. Just that elbow being a bit closer to the water pump. That now is on purpose to allow you more clearance for the intake tubing. That way you're not hitting your own transmission.
Echo's looking for more things that you want.
I hope that all made sense. Man, I've been talking about. I'm gonna sore throat from talking for an hour.
I know. That's how I felt when I was driving.
Rygar the Destroyer said, "Do you have any prototypes of the new elbow we can see, or is that top secret LOL?"
None yet, no. So basically, what I'm waiting for is to get the engine bay, get this engine in the bay, which is the project for this weekend. And then I'm getting a brand new 3D scanner, and we're going to scan the bay and actually have the radiator in place. We're going to have the cat kind of in place. And with this scan, we can actually then go in and make a very exact, very precise fitting elbow, and make sure it runs correctly with some exhaust, make sure it's easy for your exhaust shop to run all back. Plan ahead to make sure it fits an O2 sensor in the back end where you put your pipe later on side of things. And I'm actually, it's not going to be top secret. We're actually going to be doing that like on stream or on video, kind of show you guys what the process for that looks like. I really wanted to show off some of the stuff that we're doing like that, using modern technology to build the best turbo Festiva you can build. It's really cool to be able to use like modern scanning technology and 3D work like that, all in an effort to build a Ford Festiva. It was wild to me. Oh, did I just lose Wi-Fi?
Oh no. The dog is going to keep following you because you're carrying.
No, we're good. She'll follow me anyway.
I took it away from her because she's tearing it up. Here's your big boy. Echo, stop tearing it.
But also, the other thing is, anything I'm making
She's the worst.
that if I'm producing it for the store, or if it's something I can make for the store, I'm gonna make it for the store and make sure it's available for you guys to purchase. If it's something I'm making that's like very DIY that I think could benefit you guys, but I can't make it like in bulk, I will probably make that open source is available for free. For example, if like for this build, I'm building my own harness. I've actually made my own wiring diagrams digitally for this whole car. So it's like it looks like the factory diagrams, but for a custom harness. So like all the sensors I'm using, the ECU I'm using, I've made all that available publicly, or I'm working on making it public. But basically, I've drawn my own wiring diagrams on my PC for this whole build. And when I'm done with all that, and I make sure it works, I'm going to make sure that's available for you guys to look at. So you guys can go like to Google Drive or whatever, download that, and actually look at my diagrams, look at how I ran it, look at the videos as I'm building it, and do it yourself if you want to copy this build. I'm not trying to keep anything like that secret or whatever. And like same thing like for the turbo stuff, that's since I'm doing those cast, obviously I'm not going to release those files publicly, but if you want to build the same thing, you can just go right and buy the manifold now from the store. When the elbows are available, you can buy the elbows. I'm trying to get custom radiators made even for the Festiva for this swap. So once I figure out the best way to mount the radiator and like call it done and good, then I can sell that radiator on here or find somebody that's offering a service to modify a radiator. But I want to make like just off-the-shelf radiators that you can buy for this swap kit. I want to do a ton of stuff like that. Because for a long time in the Festiva world, people do B15 swaps. Like there's 10 ways to do it. Nobody's been like, this is the good way. It's like, here's how I did it. It could be better, or here's a way to do it. But only if you're using the stock transmission. If you're using the G series, that kind of changes things. This person used this radiator, which made them have no room for this mount. But if you use a front-facing fan, then you can use the right mount. But then that changes your answer to your grill. There's a whole bunch of like stuff like that, where I just want to make sure, like, hey, here's some parts that will make it easy. Like you buy these mounts, you buy this radiator, you don't have to fab your own radiator and stuff. Obviously, there's always some welding involved in the swap, like this caliber. You always have to do a bit of fab work. But I want to make a guide video that makes it as easy as you can, as many parts as I can, so that you guys can just do it. You can follow along and say like, this is the way, this is the right way to do it, this is, or at least a really good way to do it. And you copy that, you'll have a
Rygar the Destroyer said, "A custom radiator would be sick. It would make everything so much easier."
For sure. And that's really why I want to do that sort of stuff. Both for myself, because I like it to be easy, and for everybody else after me.
She's just destroying it. Well, I think I'm gonna go get the cat. It should be ready to go.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll wait till Steven gets here and I'll just take this card. No,
Steve should be here shortly.
he should be here. He did say on my way, which normally means he's actually on his way. As I've been recently told. You gotta check it out, Will.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has anybody else done a reference to translocation yet?
No. You want me to toss one in?
If you can find a GIF of we're putting it in
I'm working on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
And enough money left, they're gonna fly us all in to see it.
Rygar the Destroyer said, "Are there any dream products that you would love to have mass-produced but don't seem feasible?"
Oh man. Yeah, right now, like one of the things I was looking at doing a few times now is door cards. They're just like I've got a digital file made. I've got it made in CAD. Actually, the right. Steve and I just saw them yesterday because I was trying to put lights up. Right here. I already had a file made, and Michelle and I hand cut these out of ABS using the template that I printed on a big sheet of paper from the file I made.
Oh yeah.
So this is an ABS door card for a Festiva with all the factory hardware, factory spots to put in your 6x or your 5 1/4 door speakers, window cranks, the handles. It's even got an extra spot for the Miata handle for those running the Miata handle stuff. But like I had this all in CAD, but finding a company that actually cut these like with laser and still ship them for reasonable prices because how big they are is like impossible. Because I don't think anybody wants to pay $200 for door cards, or like even just blanks like this to get blanks made, not DIY, are like $100-something bucks, and that's not even with the foam on them. It's just raw plastic that you still have to put the covers on. You still have to glue your own fabric to. So that's not going to happen unless that gets way cheaper, or I find a better supplier, or something along those lines, or I find the time to build them myself, etc. I'd love to do some more wear items for the Festiva, like more engine stuff. To be able to get new OEM sensors that we're missing out on. Like some people want new IACs. It'd be great for me to be able to get IACs, but nobody's willing to make them. Nobody's willing to make Aspire parts. Like for people who are Aspire spindles, I can't get new Aspire spindles. I can only get Festiva spindles. But again, that's another problem that we're trying to solve. So that now on the store we have the 4100 drums. So they're factory Festiva drums. They're drilled to 100 pattern instead. So now you can keep your Festiva spindles, you can keep Festiva shoes, and have the benefit of the 4100 pattern, and also the benefit of it being thinner so that you can fit more wheels. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like I have designed or I wanted to produce, but it's like not feasible 3D printing. That's pretty good. Not feasible by 3D printing, or finding a place that's willing to make like less than 1,000 or more. New rubbers for like the doors, the window tracks, and the wiper seals. The seals like on the door, so the window goes down on the bottom edge. I've been trying to get those made, but like it's very hard to get those made apparently. OEM style door handles. I can get the Kia Pride ones, which are like a weird shape compared to ours. They're very chintzy feeling. New mirrors. Like it'd be nice to have passenger mirrors brand new. I found a company that was willing to work with me for a bit, and then like last second they said, sorry, we actually can't, and they said go away. Still working on trying to get new mud flaps made. But yeah, like stuff like that, stuff that's like all used Festivas, they're probably worn on, so they're gonna be hard to get. So like all Festivas probably have worn out door rubbers, but I can't get those. Or like the windshield trim, like the trim that actually goes around the windshield. If you get lucky enough to actually replace your windshield and you get the trim broken, it's all scuffed up. The only way you get that is like get lucky with used ones. Other than that, it's like impossible to find. New bumpers, maybe. There was a company that said they could for a while, but they said they actually don't have the molds anymore. So somebody out there might still have those molds, but again, it's like expensive to get bumpers made. I don't think right now they're probably willing to spend $300 on a mid-tier quality aftermarket bumper. But in 5 years' time, when Festivas are more and more, they become more collectible cars, more people are willing to spend more money to restore them and stuff, then I can start looking at that sort of stuff. But like a lot of it depends on the community still supporting the car and the community being large enough. I can't. I get nervous over time. The business will slow down because there's only so many Festivas left on the road. Not everyone wants to buy performance parts for Festivas. So at some point, like I'll have to start making parts for other platforms, like Protege stuff, possibly, or other newer platforms in the Mazda world, or even switch over to doing like something completely different. But generally speaking, just as long as this stuff keeps selling, and I keep finding products you guys want to buy and actually do buy, then I will keep trying to innovate and make stuff happen. But right now, this is my job. So doing this stuff and doing Sam Industries and 3D modeling and scanning and stuff is my full-time gig. So I have to make sure that at the end of the day, everything that we're doing still sells and pays the bills. Like all these new lights, I gotta pay to keep the lights on. Literally, I'm running 2000 somewhat profitable, so we can still turn the lights on, but also be affordable. I'm still trying to make sure it's for me. The business is community first. I want to serve the community. I want to make sure everybody has access to the stuff, while also making sure that I take care of my family and my bills.
Yeah, someone's got to feed Maverick. He eats a lot.
We both work. Michelle's a teacher, but I'm sure everybody here knows how the teacher salary goes. AKA not great. You guys think I have it tough dealing with like car customers every day?
Bro.
Not at all. Actually, I have it the least tough. I see people are some of the best people on earth. Awesome people in general.
True.
I enjoy thoroughly. Michelle has to deal with a bunch of freaking high schoolers who refuse to learn math.
Yeah, high schoolers. But hey, that's why I get the summer.
Rygar
to, like,
the Destroyer
my brain.
said, "Very cool smiling face with sunglasses. You basically keep these cars on the road."
Someone's got to
Yes,
do it.
and that was always the goal. The store, I want to make sure people have access to both the basically, if you can't get it on Rock Auto, I want to make sure that I have it. And if Rock Auto stops selling it, then I'm going to start selling it. That's the main idea. So like for mounts, I've got engine mounts. Anybody to make these front mounts for a reasonable price, then I'm going to do it.
It's right in here.
Good. Now everybody asks questions for Michelle about the business or about herself or about cars.
I know nothing.
About these dogs because I need to take a break. Throat hurts.
I don't know much, but I can send.
Not true. So much.
I know these dogs are pretty cool. I actually need to leave and go pick up a new family member. It's a tiny cat. Yeah, he's cute. Maybe we'll bring him out if he's feeling up to it. He just got neutered today. Poor guy. I felt really bad this morning, so I had to wake up at like 7 a.m. and take our kitten and Steven's cat and kitten. Essentially, when we were traveling, Steven got a text from his little sister who's living with them and said, "Hey, remember that cat you were trying to keep inside that escaped? It was like a stray cat that Steven was trying to take in. And she left, got herself pregnant, came back to have her babies." So that was like the first week of April, and I slowly convinced myself that yes, we should get a kitten. When we were traveling with doing the power tour, the best part of the power tour, no offense to just like driving around in cool cars, but was seeing my friend because that friend is the friend that got married. So going to her house and seeing her two cats play and have fun, I was like, we got home and Salem was just like, "Oh my God, you're back!" And I'm like, "Oh, Salem maybe needs a friend." So that was kind of the last straw where I was like, ugh. Like I didn't really want another cat, but I felt like Salem could use one. So that's what I need to go do is get those kittens. I did
the minute you seen it, you wanted it.
He's so cute. I especially am happy about this cat because this cat and Echo are like best friends. You should have seen him last night, Steven. It was the cutest thing of all time. Look at this picture.
I think large.
Yeah. Oh, too large.
They were in the crate together. It was so cute.
Very shapely too.
Yeah, I think the massage this a little flatter. It might fit in there. But it might also be a bit too tall, but I don't think I can fix that too much because like nothing glues HDPE. HDPE is resistant to everything. I think for me to cut the bottom, try to heat re-grip it, I don't know if I get a methanol-proof seal.
Thank goodness you're here, Steven. You're the most entertaining out of all of us.
I don't know about that.
So I think we should cut that bar out of the car. See if it fits the bar out of the way, and it doesn't, leave it cut out. Weld stainless steel one up.
What is this for?
Put that bar back in.
Isn't this for the protege?
No.
What's this for? For this? What is? Huh? Why?
Methanol.
Oh.
I decided I want to store it in the car. Like making it fit in the engine bay, so I wasn't working out with the battery and the wiring and the pump needing to all be in the same.
I thought it was for the protege.
It's just to spit in the wheel well, like the stock tank. Well, you have to cut a hole for the neck.
Like in this orientation, I think it's too tall.
Is it though? It looks like it'll come right up to the upper port support.
It'd come right to the tow hook.
As long as you're not
It's
dragging.
tall. It's not crazy tall, I guess.
As long as you're not dragging tow hook, you're good.
Why was this the one you wanted?
I need more volume than stock tank has, I think.
It doesn't have that much more volume than a stock tank. Maybe like 25% more.
You want to bet?
No.
I bet it's like double.
Bet.
I'm going to sell. I got no money to bet.
Yeah, it's definitely double because of the curve.
I mean, if you count the next year. But
This
the
guy.
bottom really dips in.
It does taper, but it's got the jet in the bottom a bit.
Well, it was like
Somebody
this one was on warehouse deal
get
for
a
20
measuring
bucks.
cup.
So if this doesn't fit, we can just weld one up. But I wanted to try it. If it dies, it dies. It's 27 or 22.
This guy, I don't have $22.
This is how you learn things. Somebody's got to do it.
But learning's expensive.
Look at, did you pop the
I
ball?
think she did.
You bitch.
That ball's been around forever.
I'm so sorry. You gave it back to me. What do you expect? I destroyed.
Yeah, she
You
was
destroyed it.
just eating the guts out of it.
You son of a gun.
I was thinking
I'm
if I had
so
used a
sorry.
solid front bar, we could just weld the caps onto the bar and
Oh.
fill the core support with it.
No.
That's a hell of a crash
Well,
support
look
right
at this
there.
poor
Right.
ball.
And like it's not flammable. It's not super flammable.
Yeah, it's definitely somewhat flammable.
I mean, it's
Sounds
mostly
flammable.
it's like half water.
It still is a type of alcohol.
Yeah.
I was thinking about alcohol. I put E85 in the truck. I'm pretty sure.
Alcohol.
I'm pretty sure it was knocking before because it won't break the fuck up.
Did it?
Oh yeah. I also get bangs on shifts now.
Hell yeah.
And it was only like half a tank too, so at most I'm at 50%. So we need to get the ethanol content since they're on there and just tune it for 85. Because I got the table set up perfectly for 93, like it's exactly where the AFR targets are. So I think we're fine to start going to 85.
Do you already have a sensor?
Not with me, but I did.
All right, kids,
Right.
I'm gonna go pick up these kittens.
Okay.
Should I just leave yours in the crate?
Probably. They're probably gonna be sleeping in there.
Yeah. Probably true.
Oh,
I'll put some
I think
water
I was
in
thinking
that
that the power steering pump would probably end up being up here.
Oh yeah, you can just put the
I don't know,
like, through a
when-
tiny hole.
I remember
Right,
when
and the lines
Sam
just
got
run right
home
across
from
the-
surgery. It was
That's
so funny. I went to pick her up, and they were like, "What did they say?" She was like, "You got one of them sassy cats," and I was like, "Oh man, how'd you know?" And she was like, "She was in there just telling everybody everything she's ever known." I was like, "Yeah, that's my cat." And when I was taking them this morning, our cat was just yelling. I was like, "Yep, it's gonna be another one of those." Yeah.
Hopefully this one didn't like just climb the walls like an exorcist.
Yeah, dude, I thought about that. I thought about asking, like, Julie, like, are your cats, like, totally reasonable at the vet? Because Salem's a demon, like, actually, and we had to drug her, and was it, even when she was drugged, she was climbing the walls, or was
Yeah,
it
even
before?
after the drug, you know, like we're not going to do a full check.
Yeah, they were like, we didn't know our walls were climbable, and Salem has taught us a new
And
thing.
they've been in this building for at least 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So Salem was the first to show them that they're like smooth, you know, poly style walls
Yeah.
actually are climbable if you really try hard
If you really want to, you can. It was so frustrating too, because then we put Salem back in the truck, and she was just like lounging, like nothing ever happened, like she didn't actually care about anything. And I was like, dude, seriously? I wish they would do like even just to your car visit, like keep your AC on and let me examine them here. You bring the shots out, bro. But because that would work for Salem.
Oh.
She didn't really care about
I
that.
just remember I was going to have to text Steven. Like, yeah, I texted him to remind him to bring stuff. He said, okay. Did you bring the super pedal by chance?
I did not.
Okay.
You didn't tell
I also
me
didn't
about that.
I know, because I couldn't remember what it was either.
I didn't even bring a Subaru, so he couldn't even steal my stock pedal.
Dang. Can't even steal the star pedal. You want to.
I don't care about halfway
But you brought pumps and
all the
electric
stuff
wire.
to do.
Yeah, I told Will, I was like, I drilled so many holes in my porch just to not even get my fans installed for another summer.
Show them what you've done.
Dude, does this mean Harvest Eve is going to have a
Show them
pool
what
party?
you've done.
We just got a text from Sammons this morning.
But they buy a pool.
Not buying it, like,
Installing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They're
like
insane.
an in-ground,
They've been talking
in-yard,
about doing it.
new patio.
I was like, you got pics, bro? Pics or it's not
Yeah.
real.
I don't know if it's gonna be ready by then. Even if
She
they-
said a couple weeks. Dude, when Zender was doing it, between start to finish, it was like Easter to Memorial Day. Done.
well, the concrete takes a bit to cure. Harvest Eve was like 2 months
It
away.
depends on if they're doing concrete.
How else? Just dig a hole and put a liner in it?
Yeah, they do like fiberglass. A fiberglass like
Well,
siding.
if they do like a fiberglass one, it's not gonna be that big.
Oh, they do. They big. Have you not seen like on the
Yeah.
state? You ever seen the trucks carrying them?
Yeah,
I don't
those
know.
are so much more expensive than concrete, though.
And the concrete would be good enough within a week to do your liner stuff.
She said, "Sounds like we may have a functional pool in a couple of weeks."
Wow.
What a couple of weeks means, I don't know. She probably meant a couple of months. I'm just saying, pack your swimsuit. Labor Day is officially a pool party.
5 packs of swimsuit, anyways. I get balls hot again.
Well, we'll send that picture to Frank, have him Photoshop me weirdly in the pool and Steve's around it. And we'll post that picture on the page. Say, hey, by the way, our Steve's have a pool.
Yeah, as long as your parents are cool with that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later, though.
All right, I'm gonna go get the cat.
All right, thanks for helping out.
Y'all are in charge. I'll bring these dogs, I guess.
I'm trying to clean up so I can actually film that here this weekend while the stuff's scripting. And half the stuff's already here from Amazon, so that's good.
What are we still missing?
I don't know. Whatever was not overnight. So probably not much. Like a lot is here. I think it's dropped off more too. So yeah, we just have to finish picking up stuff from your 6-speed rebuild.
Oh yeah, I brought my truck, so just put that in the truck.
Nice.
I was gonna park in the driveway, but it's pretty full.
Yeah. We can move the truck back up here later. Like at least move the tools back, and then I'll try to reorganize the table, the connectors back that are on the porch from doing the truck harness.
I need to go do the blue pumps at some point.
You
I
know
brought
what?
all the stuff with me.
Oh, the pumps.
Yeah, since I was here pretty much till tomorrow last night.
Right.
I didn't really have time to do them. Seems to happen a lot.
Worked out nicely though.
Yeah, we got a lot
I think
done.
those files turned out pretty good.
Well, we'll know for sure in a couple hours. How long does the print have? I'm not sure when you started it. It was 5 hours.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, you have yours actually internet enabled?
Mhm.
I need to do that to mine.
How do you not? That's the default.
No, it's not. It's
Oh.
local network only. Default.
I guess right OS must automatically not
Yeah.
local. Yes, well, the thing is still I have to be on my Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, I guess you are still on your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so I guess I can tell it's local. I'm not. I'm local on my Wi-Fi. I'm
Well,
not
local
SSH.
as in, it's IP.local.
Yes.
You don't have like an actual website, so if you're not on your network, you can't access it.
Right.
So, yeah, you're
Now,
still,
on desktop, I can use the shortcut at least. I go to Riggy.local and that counts. But I'm like, for some reason the phone won't do that, so I have to do the full ID. ETA 3 hours and 44 minutes.
what's not too bad.
37% done.
It's probably gonna take me 2 hours to do the phone, so I'm just gonna do the entire box. No point in doing half the box just for 5 you need.
Sure.
And I have one that's half done with me. I'll let you listen to it. It sounded a little funny to me. It's like, testing while I listen to it.
Right. All right. So for the viewers that are left, is there anything else you wanted to see or talk about on the stream? We're about an hour 45 in now, which is great. I didn't really have a plan for how long it lasts, since it's mostly just me cleaning up and talking about what's been going on for the company and for the store and for me and project-wise recently.
Rygar the Destroyer said, "What is the deal with the Kia Rio rack swap? Like, what are the advantages?"
Yes. So Rio rack. Let's go and see. So right now you can still see it has all the power lines installed. Generally, the benefit is it's got increased throw, so your steering angle increases. You get a little more steering angle out of it. But primarily, it's the ratio, the rack ratio, so like how many turns lock to lock it takes to turn. So like if you're racing a Festiva or racing any car really, a lot of stock cars, like Festiva for example, it's 3.7 turns lock to lock. So if you're in the center, you have to do whatever half that is. So 1.9,
say 2.
1.8. Yeah, basically almost 2 turns. So you're sitting here and you're trying to go full left. You have to turn the wheel 2 entire times almost to turn all the way left, and then go almost 4 turns all the way back to go full right. The less turns you have to do side to side, the better it is to drive. Like to do quick, especially for smaller tracks, to do quick transitions. Any turn left, immediately turn right. You don't have to shuffle your hands on the wheel or do a bunch of spinning. You can just kind of like if you look at F1 cars, they have like a 0.5 rack ratio. Like their steering wheel, they have 2 hand grips, and they're like, that's full left, that's full right. It's crazy quick. But obviously in the street, that'd be a pain. Every bit of decreased rack ratio, so every bit more you get per wheel turn, makes it harder to turn. So the downside of the Rio rack swap is that in the parking lot, especially when you're not moving, it's going to be harder to turn the wheel, so it'll take more effort. But the advantage is it takes less turns to get the wheel to move. So for racing, especially when you're moving, the advantages highly outweigh the downsides. The best rack ratio-wise for us is actually technically the factory Festiva power steering rack. They're just incredibly rare. I'm working on actually getting some of those made so that we can have ratio racks available easily and new. But generally speaking, the Rio rack, they're super easy to get. They're from 01 to 05 Rios. They're super cheap in junkyards. They're all over eBay as rebuilds. All you have to do is remove all the lines. You plug the lines on the input shaft side here, and then the 2 lines going to the rack here and here. You just loop those to each other so the air can go between 2 sides of the rack as it moves. And that's it.
And if you do end up getting those power steering racks made, I'll make a line and pump kit if people want to run power steering.
Yeah, I can get pumps. Just get to make lines. But yeah, hard lines. Like making the hard lines, if you actually make them for real, it'd be sweet. So here's the rack that was in this car. I found a new OEM one for cheaper. This is a really crusty one. It just looks good because I painted it a long time ago. But as you can see, here's the lines on. So there's 2 plugs in these holes and 2 plugs in that hole. And then here's the line. It's just a piece of power steering hose looped across the line. Or actually, this might be a fuel hose. It's just for air, though. There's no fluid actually in there anymore. So it just needs to be able to have the air move across and not get full of dirt. Yeah, on this one, I'm actually going to do the same thing with hard line if I delete them. And now that I have hard line kits, I can actually make it hard line, make it tucked in really small and tight. Or if we run power steering in the end, I'll actually make it power steering and have it be easy to turn and have the benefits of a better ratio. But that's the point. The point is it's a quick ratio rack, much better for performance and handling and driving. And it's basically a bolt-in swap. All you need to do, you make sure you have the bracket from the Rio rack because this side's thicker. But you just put that bracket on from the Rio rack, you change out the inner tie rods for Festiva tie rods, and you're done. That's it. It's bolts in.
You might actually need my power steering boot for your steering shaft.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, someone actually needs it.
Yeah, because the ones I have are right-hand drive.
Oh, wait, no. I only have the one. The one that I have that's new is non-power steering, I think. Because we ordered the wrong one the first time.
Yeah, and I thought I found more finally, and it showed up there backwards.
Rygar the Destroyer said, "Very cool, thank you."
Absolutely.
Maybe with all this, crap going on with Iran, we might, liberate them and be able to buy shit from them again. We can start buying all the Salpia parts and Turkey,
yeah,
whatever
nice.
the brands are. And have basically brand new, every Festiva part imaginable. I just want to import one of the Sapia trucks. Fucking love it. They're so cool. Well, and yeah, like that or the cargo van thing they have.
The van was UK.
What's it, UK?
Yeah, and it's impossible to find. As far as I'm aware, there's 2 left. One of the owners is in the group. Cool guy.
If I import one, it'd still be the wagon first.
Apparently, somebody is importing a wagon.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's sad.
I think it's on the way. Sad to not be the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know my broke ass wasn't gonna be the first.
We'll see how that turns out.
Once I get those manifolds finished up, I hopefully won't be a broke ass anymore.
All right. Well, obviously it's still not clean in here, but I think it looks a little bit better. Better enough for me to pause, go inside, and maybe make lunch and check on the printer. Yeah, there we go. We might be streaming again tonight or tomorrow because we just designed a bunch of parts to convert a printer to be from a useless printer to a useful printer. Steven's making some great changes to his. I have the same printer. I've been trying to mod it alongside of his, and then I ended up just abandoning it to a different one. But Steven's got his working really well, and now he's got some problems with like very high-end speed stuff that we're trying to fix.
I literally keep snapping belts.
Yeah, so trying to make a new belt routing kit, basically use better pulleys, better belts, and the kit to make it all more stable. So we designed some of it in CAD and borrowed some files that somebody else made for the motor mounts, and tweaked it to fit what we needed, and now they're printing, and most of the hardware's here, so tonight or tomorrow we might build that.
Tonight? I'm gonna be going tomorrow night.
Oh yeah. Yes, as long as all the parts get me, then yeah, we should be able to do it tonight.
As long as they don't cancel our deliveries, it should be. But it's Amazon, so who knows?
Yeah, if there's something I can't remember. Was it just my belt kit getting here Saturday?
Yeah, that's the only thing that was not supposed to be here today.
So yeah, if that all gets here and we're ready to build it, we will do that on stream upstairs. Or we might as well. Delivered. Arriving today.
Does it say shipped at least for the arriving today stuff?
I will check.
More than likely, all the arriving today stuff's in the same package.
Does not say ship.
Okay, it's probably not going to be here today then. Especially if it's this late in the day and hasn't shipped. Amazon ship with that.
Yeah, looks like we're missing the long bolts.
I got the all thread, but it's not going to be enough for all of them. I do have some longer bolts too.
Yeah, most of these definitely long M4s for all the plastic bits.
Well, I don't have those. All those stuff mounts if I have Zen 5 for the pulleys. You know, if Amazon was just honest with delivery times instead of just,
Right?
thinking they can make it here when they know they can't. I mean, with how close you are, there's a chance that they might go off for delivery later today. But typically, where I live, it doesn't, say out for delivery in the morning. It's not coming. Yeah, hopefully all this printer stuff works out because I kind of need my printer to print all the manifold stuff.
So true.
If I can get all the manifold stuff printed, I'm probably only a couple weeks away from casting the first one.
All right. I guess that's all we need for now then. I'll be back out here some tomorrow, maybe today, when the printer stuff goes. But finish cleaning up in here and start doing that guide video, and maybe we'll see us do some printer stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you have the notification bell on if you want to be notified when we go live, when the videos come out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. See ya. cameras are loving the new light. This is no post processing at all. Like backlight compensation, all that stuff off. I had to turn the exposure down an extra click.